What's in a skein? Do you even call it a skein? And what form should it take? Answers coming up. Do you call them skeins or do you call them skeins? Personally, I call it a skein, but a lot of people insist on calling it a skein. I understand where it's coming from because a skein is spelled S-K-E-I-N, and if you take the traditional anglicized view on letter pronunciation, E-I, I before E, except after C, you actually pronounce it the first vowel, which is an E. That's the way I do it. But if you think in terms of sensei, S-E-N-S-E-I, then it would be an A sound. So personally, I don't think there's a correct way to say it. We can't get a consensus, but I say skein. Now, a skein of yarn is just a bunch of yarn held together in some way. Some people think of this as a skein, but this is actually a hank of yarn. And what this is it's a twist, and you pull it out, and it makes a loop. This is some yarn that I dyed myself, hence why it's a little bit knotted, but you just twist it back up a little bit too tight, and it folds it in on itself and twists, and you tie it in. That's all this is. It's considered one of the best ways to keep yarn because it's relaxed. The thing is, in the process, you're really tightening the yarn and then you're allowing it to relax, but you can over tighten it. It can still be too tight. So you have to be a little bit careful. But this is one of the most space sensitive ways to save your yarn. So this is a center pull ball. As you can see, I've kind of messed with this a little bit already. There's a piece that comes outside, and then there's a piece that you can pull from the inside. Sometimes you get a little bit of what's called yarn barf, in which case a big chunk comes out and it's a little bit of a knot, and it looks like the yarn barfed onto the couch. But this way you can pull with very little pressure. Of course, anything that pulls from the inside, you wind up, it can collapse. So sometimes about halfway through, if you're not using it all in one sitting, some people will rewind it into a ball or a cake. But what's a ball? Well, it can be something kind of like this. It's usually round. You can make it a center pull ball where you put a little bit of yarn in your hand and you just go around, and then you turn it and go around some more. You can also pull it from the outside, in which case it'll go all over the place like this one will. But this is definitely another option, and it's the one that we see in movies and stuff all the time. And this is the one that the cats particularly like to play with because it does get away from you. And this is why you need a yarn bowl sometimes. Any bowl works. You just put it in and then it's contained in the bowl. This, on the other hand, is a cake. And what it is it's a center pull ball, but you can see all the lovely stripes in the pattern. One of the weaknesses that some people hate, I don't personally mind, but some people hate is that because it pulls from the center, you wind up with this funky hole. Please excuse my yarn barf. But you wind up with this hole, and as the hole gets bigger, it loses a little bit of form. So it can collapse in on itself. Now, that's not a unique problem to this, but it's a little bit more pronounced because it is a flat cake versus an elongated skein. So it is a little bit harder for some people to put back together. Then there's this thing. I'm not sure what it's technically called, but I call it a donut because that's what it looks like. Anyway, these are center pull balls as well, but they're more rounded like a donut. And these usually come ready for you to use right after you take the little bit of paper off. But whatever way you like to use your yarn, I hope it works best for you. And if you find something else that works for you, hey, go switch to that. Not a big deal. I hope you found this helpful, and I will see you again next week. Happy crafting. Bye.